Well, hello people, and welcome back to part 83 of Orchid Bay of an L6 Skylines build. Hope you're having a wonderful day. And thank you last week for enjoying our medical centre build. It's all complex, sits in really nicely against the highway, in a pretty prestigious part of Orchid Bay. And it was from that episode that's actually inspired today's episode. We had a wonderful comment from Plumus down below, who suggested that maybe we bring some metro to areas of Orchid Bay that don't have it. So I think that's what we're going to do today, kind of overhaul metro system, maybe redraw some of the lines as to where they do and don't meet up. And I reckon we're going to possibly switch out at this big plaza here, which is probably where we'll start, I think, for the super big boy metro plaza that we all love. I think this is where I'll put it. So first of all, let's dive into our transport. We've also got some metro lines we're going to have to remove here as well. You're at the transport hub, so we can delete you. We will, of course, plug it back in, but it can go for right now. So it's going to content creator packs. This one here is from the train stations content creator pack by Bad Peanuts. That's available down at Instant Gaming below if you don't have it. Definitely one of the best packs has ever been. But it's the Super Metro Hub, right? We've used this in Palaven, Novaria, Ilos. Don't think Noob Yoke had it, did it? I think we skipped this one in Noob Yoke, but I think it'd be a shame not to have it in our Magnum Opus city, wouldn't it? So definitely want to try and get it in here. So we'll treat this as our first sort of metro plaza, right? There's a ton of detailing to be done around here today as well. But let's have a look at metro configuration first. So let's come over to our metro lines. So we've got a little bit of a metro spaghetti mess happening here at the minute, haven't we? So there is a metro station here. You are no longer needed. You do have a line running to you. Okay. So let's just cut this one back a little bit. And then we've also got this station here as well. That might as well go. Yeah, so this one feeds over here, doesn't it? So we'll break this one, and then we'll feed everything into the central plaza, I think, is what's going to be the best way. And we might end up actually just deactivating this station. A lot of the times in London, when a station becomes deactive, it's either just totally abandoned and left to rot underground, or sometimes they're turned into wine bars. So maybe if we're not going to have this one active anymore with the Metro Loop, maybe we can pretend it's now a wine bar or something. That would be pretty cool. Well, we'll see, because it might end up getting use again. So let's work in our metro stops here. So the angles might be a little bit tight here, but it's just the configuration of this station. There's not a vast amount we can really do about it. So you will go into here. Let's come underground. And you'll connect into there, which is great. And then this platform needs to connect into this space, but it looks like we're going to have a little bit of trouble with the roads above, so we might need to delete some connections, which is okay. Well, this one comes under, I can then go over there. And this one that comes out of the stadium can come straight into this one. Actually, no, let's change that connection. Let's connect that into the other one. So we'll have that one connecting, and then we can continue this loop directly into this one over here now, can't we? I believe. We'll have that one run directly underneath, and let's not forget to replace that road we did delete over here. There we go. I really hate how that connects. Let's just straighten that out. Yeah, slightly better, isn't it? So they meet with the other island loop over there. We get plenty of metro convergence at that point. Now this one over here, I believe, runs all the way through Karen and Sharon, doesn't it? It does indeed. So we certainly want this one hooking back into one of these downtown lines. So let's bring it, it's kind of like sweep it around a little bit. So we'll have it go this way, and then it can curve into that one there. Now I don't think I've got a need to extend it out. We could go ahead. I mean, how many loose platforms have we got here? There's one at the metro, at the airport, sorry. Thinking we could extend it and actually bring it into the Olympic Park metro, and then we can actually terminate the Sharon and Karen line there, and then allow the airport loop to remain separate, which I'd quite like to do. So I think we'll go with that then. So this one here, we'll feed this directly alongside of this up here. And this one can extend out and down this way. And that'll connect in there. Yep, I'm pretty happy with that. Then that then leaves us with 2 platforms, which I don't think we're going to connect into this part of the city, I don't believe. But I'd love to have a metro line feed out of one of these platforms into Old Haven over this way. So we could possibly have a look at placing some stations. I've got some nice little spots here actually where we could also converge with train and bus line. I think might be quite tasty. So why don't we have a station here that can stop at Old Haven Town around this way. Actually, do we want to find a space for it in here? No, I don't think so. We'll keep it there near the train station. And then we can also feed this line over here as well into the older style downtown we built ages ago. Over here, I think. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So we can connect all those in. And then the other one I wanted to explore was this line here. So at the minute we have an overground station, which is fine. We actually ended up doing a bit of renovation over here on a live stream. But I reckon we switch this out for an underground station, and then we can have the metro kind of emerge out of the earth. And then as it carries on underground, it can come through here and serve 2 church in the start of the city, which has 0 metro infrastructure in it at the minute. So why don't we go for that? So in order to do that, we're going to have to remove the bridge here and the station, possibly this line as well. So let's have a browse at some underground stations. Again, bad peanuts are probably going to be the one to go for here. Just a single one. How about we grab a little bit of road here? Let's come back to the surface. And we'll drag this out to about there. Now, hopefully, about there, looks like we can have our metro. Pretty convincingly as well. I don't think I hate that there at all. We'll have to rework our landscaping, which we'll do in the detail in time lapse. But I'm very keen to see how these metro tracks are going to behave, kind of emerging from the center of the earth, if you like. So if we were to come up here and then here, is that massively offensive? It is yeah, it is. It is. It is offensive. That does offend me. It's just that final slope is a little too steep, that's all. So I mean, is that a straight 90-degree connection? It's not, is it? There's a slight bend off in the line there. So let's just leave that angle snap on. The key thing is to make sure that we're just not horrendously steep leaving the earth. Yeah, that's more what I want. Like it's going into like an embankment there. That's kind of the angle I'm happy with. And then if I were to push you back over there, could we just get angled connection in there? That's much smoother now, isn't it? I'm much happier with that, I think. Wonderful news. So whilst we have that there, let's then pop back underground again. And then let's sort of map out a trajectory. So having a look at sort of existing infrastructure. And where do we want this to be? So we've got a metro hub around the hunting grounds and kind of town centre here would be great, wouldn't it? So possibly here, do we want to explore another metro station? There's the dual platform one here where we could feed off a line that maybe comes out to some of the industry services. This area where another one splits off and goes there, but I don't want a vast amount of metro infrastructure here. It's more of a service line, really. We've also got the very cute little little Japanese metro. Fits in beautifully there, doesn't it? You want to go for that one? I'd like to use the asset. I love the little PNG they've got there as well of the subway tunnel. That's very cute. I reckon we'll go for that one then, because we haven't used it before, have we? So that seems pretty decent to me. We can have more metro here, which is going to be great convergence for all of this transport. Maybe even actually, do we want to have it? Do we want to have it here? Does this maybe work a little bit nicer? Can we get an airport apron in here actually? Because when we built this part of the city, airport aprons were not a thing. No, not without... Yeah, not without encroaching upon things that we need. But it's fine. I reckon we can have a bit of grass there. We'll just stick a little tree next to it or something. I think that'll do. And then we can have Metro as part of our massive bus tram hub here. And that'll be quite tasty, won't it? So let's come back to Metro. So we have a stop here now. We'll feed that one directly through. It doesn't need to stop in between, I don't think. Although then again, having said that, having a Metro stop. Yeah, because this station is just still nuts to this day, isn't it? It's super busy this way. It would be very nice to have a Metro stop there, wouldn't it? Do we want to do the Japanese one again? It's just so compact, isn't it? Hard to say no to. It's really cute. It just works. It just works. Cool. We'll have that in there then. And then we will feed one. It'd be good to have one on Two Churches, kind of main street, wouldn't it? Where do we want that? Again, possibly there. I feel like I'm overusing the Japanese station now, but you know, it works, doesn't it? It's pretty discreet. We have a Metro stop there. And then that's going to feed people right through the suburb. And then I reckon we can have it kind of loop down here. And then terminate at the big Michael Moore and Sports Shopping Centre here would probably be a good spot for a Metro stop, wouldn't it? So I think we'll just go back to the vanilla station for that. Let's just grab regular Metro. And in and around this bus plaza is going to make the most amount of sense, isn't it? Probably directly opposite is the most sensible choice. It is indeed. So let's go ahead and get all those Metro lines, or Metro stations, hooked together with actual lines. So I seem to have stumbled across, I guess what I would call a fairly interesting bug or a glitch, I think. So the small little one-tile Japanese station we've been using, and this one over here, the AI almost never wants to use it. I've had one person come in and out of this station, the same with all the other ones down this line as well. However, now just switched it out for a vanilla station, and all of a sudden, there's a lot of people now wanting to use it, which is really weird, and it's now getting actual people coming down to use this station. I don't know what would be causing that. Maybe it's a preference of the AI likes to get around, and for some reason they're undervaluing the one-tile Japanese station for some reason. It's the same story over here as well. I'd be keen to try it here too, actually. Yeah, there's one person in the week that's used this one, which is really interesting when you jump to the end of the line where it's a vanilla station. This one's getting, well, you can see 128 in the week, but on a match day it's getting significantly more than that. So really interesting just to see how the AI weighs that up. They seem to prefer the vanilla stations over at least the Railroad of Japan one, which is a little annoying. But I mean, I don't know, I guess we can practice it here, right? Let's go ahead and delete the small Japanese one. We'll put a vanilla one in, and then we'll just put these lines back in. There we go, and then we can correct the lines, and then all of a sudden there's a ton of people that want to use it. There's definitely a bug there, isn't there? That's not behaving as intended. So at least in my experience at this point in Orchid Bay, it would appear that this Japanese station on the Railroad Japan one at the Origin Metro entrance is bugged, if not working correctly. Yeah, look at that. And then as soon as the vanilla one's down, people can't wait to get into it. That's interesting, that, isn't it? But either way, we now have working Metro, so as we saw momentarily. There's people probably choosing, I'd say, I mean, the bus station is still pretty busy, I suppose. But it's a pretty even split there, isn't it? So a little bit more pressure off the bus network, which is always appreciated. These are busy stations here. But this then runs, of course, into Two Church, which is now finally getting a little bit of use, which is very nice. So more people coming in here, which then goes over to the transport hub in the town centre, over here again, which is a Railroad Japan one. Now this one's now getting a little bit of use. 172 in that one in a week. But even then, it's still very quiet compared to the other ones. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there, to be honest. And then this one over here again. Much busier than the Japanese one. Not entirely sure. Either way, more just walking porn convergence over here. We're actually starting to get a little bit of lag over on this transport hub now because it's just so insanely busy. Is that not even clearing the backlog anymore now, that train? It should do, it should do. Maybe that's just a mix of intercity people as well. I think it probably is, isn't it? But look at that, everyone. Delicious, isn't it? Absolutely love how busy this station is. 1,100 in a week through it. Very nice indeed. So that metro should then distribute people across the line, of course, where they now arrive over here, which is very nice. Which then feeds them back into the main central hub over this way, which is getting a fair bit of use now. It's always nice to see this one get busier. I'll show the metro layout. So there's 2 unused platforms here. I can't really see an excuse to get them in Orchid Bay's pretty ridiculous spaghetti public transport network now that runs in pretty much every direction. So we don't have the use for 2 of the platforms, but I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. And then we've also got this one down here now. So I did mention running the line out to Old Haven. We actually ended up connecting that onto this line here, just because it made sense where this metro station was in the Brickmond and Keys area, for it to go under the river, and then it now comes up over here to meet up with the Old Haven stations, where this one's getting 162 a week, which is nice again, converging with the train and the buses here too, which is always great, before that line eventually terminates in downtown Haven over here, which is great. So now we have lots of new metro activity across the city, and hopefully again just continues to alleviate the pressure off of all the road networks, especially around the city centre, where everyone can converge with that metro. And of course the Sharon and Karen lines now are also going to be quite a bit busier, considering they now have direct access to the airport, and of course with just a simple line switch as well, they can get across into Two Church and the whole kind of starting area of the city over here as well. But either way, we've got some detail to do. Detail up all of our plazas that we've implemented today, get some more detail around here, and especially the one in the city centre. But some lovely metro expansion. Let's get it all detailed, and then we'll be right back. Alright guys, let's have a little scan around the new metro plazas that are now serving the more beginner parts of Orchid Bay that we worked on quite a while ago. So have a look at each station of course and see just how many people are moving through. So we've got 218 from this one over here, and then we just surrounded it with one of those Railroad of Japan malls, which are so perfect next to a metro station here. Just general shops and markets and whatnot. And then use some of the decals from Railroad of Japan as well, just to create some kind of custom parking with some bollards around it. And of course chiseling out some more organic kind of concrete space around the plaza here. So pretty simple but nice and effective, I think, just developing a bit more public transport infrastructure, isn't it? And you can see now just how many people choose to jump into the metro rather than always cross over into the intercity bus station, which is always nice. People actually getting off those buses as well there, aren't they? And then jumping on the metro, which is always good to see. So, not that this area was particularly rammed with traffic anyway, but especially during the match days, this place can get pretty busy. Especially over here on the helicopters as well. So again, all that's just going to help keep alleviating pressure off of each other, isn't it? Of course, which we know now at this point, in cities 1 is the best way to set up your public transport networks. Just have each method take pressure off the other, and then before you know it, they're all sharing the workload equally. It's always a good barometer, I think I've found, for playing with public transport in CS1. Then we come to our stop in 2 Church, which has just been fleshed out with a little bit more concrete and some trees around it. And pretty simple, but just helps expand the design around the edge of the metro stop there. And this one here, running a tasty number, getting people from 2 Church back into the downtown now. So nice to see that getting active. And then we'll arrive at the town centre plaza over here. Now we already did end up switching out because again we were getting that bug where no one wanted to use the really tiny Railroad of Japan metro station. I'm not too sure, maybe it doesn't carry kind of enough weight for the AI, so they won't go for it. I don't know, seems to be a bit of a bug. Switching them out for a vanilla metro station or indeed any other type of metro immediately seems to fix that issue, so I'm guessing it's an issue tied into that particular Railroad of Japan asset. But let me know if you've had any success with it. But 93 coming through this one. And then we also removed a lot of the bush line off here. Place it with some tables and classic eatery to help complement the hideous human chirper. Let's hope that human chirper does not make it into CS2, right? This is horrific. No one asked for human chirper. And then we also have some more ice cream stands and tables out here. Just so this little town centre plaza now with all the taxi stands and detailing from previous episodes just creates a really nice cohesive kind of public space now, doesn't it, at the front of the city hall. So now bus, metro and tram hubs are all mingling around here, helping to keep things nice and busy in the town centre. And then over toward this one, just popped in one of the simple restaurants next door to it, reworked some of the path configuration so it flows down into this one. And we can see lots of people moving back and to between the train line and the metro line now, which is always good. 138 coming through this one. But that's always going to help take pressure off of these trams that come through here as well. Again, not that it's an overly busy line, because everything's just a shared burden for the public transport system in Orchid Bay at this point. It's kind of nice and equally spread, I think. Nothing's overly busy, which is always good. So that sits in really nicely opposite the station. I think this is one of my favourite ones. I really like the kind of old brick cafe here. The metro is very nice, isn't it? And then public transport passing by it, and great. I love it. Really like it. Got really nice views to the city centre from over here as well, isn't there? Yes, please, everyone. Don't often see that angle anymore. And then in our new plaza that we developed on live stream over here, we do have just some simple table work. We dropped in a restroom here as well, which is very nice. Always good to see stuff like that getting used. And then upgraded the road through here with a pedestrian road. Just felt a little more kind of organic, really, for the station here. And then we dropped in a park life cafe with some expanded tables around it. There we go. So we can see now we have our train coming underground, which is really cool, and then it stays underground. So that's a really nice, I think, blending of layers, having the metro kind of go into the earth here, and then it stays underground as it then goes through 2 Church. Really cool. And then just some expanded bollard and table patterns around the edge of the station where it makes sense. And we'll have a little look at this one over here, 49. Quite a lot of people get siphoned away from the metro, I think, at the train and tram hub down here in James Redwood's Gardens. Just because it's so busy, so it tends to filter out a little bit through here. Then of course this runs back into the main transport hub with everyone meeting over here, where we have dropped in one of those roof gardens. Again, I know we have lost the symmetry of them, but I think I'm happy with it just for the addition of the Mega Metro station coming in here. They're so much fun to watch. They get so busy, and it's just great, isn't it? It's really, really nice. And of course, it kind of gives this whole kind of downtown plaza a bit more of a purpose, I think, doesn't it? It felt very quiet with that other financial district's unique here. But kind of seeing down to the layer here, like down into the heart of the city, if you like, kind of shows that there's life underground, doesn't it? This asset, really great one. If you didn't get Bad Peanuts train stations, this asset alone makes it worth picking up, especially if you love playing with metros. Super, super nice one. Real big fan of this one. Hopefully we'll see something like this in CS2 in the not too distant future. We also have some new commercial towers in here as well. Just some high density commercial advertising CS2. This one here is actually the Med Clinic from Hearts of Korea Plastic Surgery Centre, right in the middle of downtown Orchid Bay. And then just some plazas, promenades, plazas and promenades, gazebos and benches and whatnot, just to help decorate those open concrete spaces where you would expect to find things, tables and whatnot. It's nice having these assets here because the props actually are active, which is always so helpful for a build, I think. Detailing them up like this, so I really like how that turned out. It's a shame we can't get these planters here as actual assets. That would have been just so perfect in vanilla, wouldn't it, to have a planter? Again, you can see how this meets up with other metro lines, of course, given the nature of the asset, and then there's bus lines converging here too. Trams and cycling all around this area. You can just see it's just become a wonderful little busy kind of hub and heart of the city here. And then the other stations over in Haven haven't been too much really expanded since they're pretty snug around the infrastructure they already occupy. I really like this part of the city. If you didn't miss in this live stream, we did a lot of fun here with like custom graveyards using some of the mid-century modern props. And then ended up building like an old derelict city wall, which was a great idea we had on the live stream. So come check out the Orchid Bay live streams if you want to see this sort of stuff being built. We had a lot of fun with it indeed, and then it comes down here. Next takes off, and then we'll have a look actually just how much passengers the main centre over here is processing now. 651, which is quite nice, isn't it? When we compare this to the main hub, it's 2,645. So more than 3,000 people a day, if not more than that, once it actually catches up with its count. Coming through this part of the city now, which is always so nice to see. But those guys, it's going to do it for today. Let's thank you all so much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, likes, comments and shares below. It really helped the channel to grow. And if you've had fun at any point and would like to help support, maybe consider checking out the OVERCHARGED Egg Patreon, where there's a bunch of bonuses, including podcasts, previews, early access when possible, Patreon exclusive polls that allow you to dictate what videos are made and whatnot. So if you're interested in getting a bit more involved in the channel, getting a little bit more out of it, check it out below. And of course, the instant gaming link today that I've mentioned to pick up Bad Peanuts content creator pack always helps support the channel as well. Otherwise, please enjoy some wonderful cinematics of today's new metro plazas. It's always fun having some public transport spikes in the city, isn't it? Otherwise, let's thank you all so much for watching. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.